At dawn on June 12, 1962, a guard at Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary began his morning count. He walked the cold, steel corridor, expecting to see the sleeping faces of America's most dangerous criminals. But in 3 cells, he saw something that would shock the world. A guard's hand reaches through the bars and pushes what looks like a sleeping head. The head rolls off the bed and hits the floor, revealing it was made of plaster. 3 men had vanished from the most infamous and secure prison of its time. In their place, they left behind these haunting, lifelike dummy heads. This is the story of the most ingenious prison break in American history, and a mystery that remains unsolved to this day. Alcatraz wasn't just a prison, it was a symbol. Perched on a lonely island, it was known as the Rock. It was where the government sent the worst of the worst, men who were too violent, too notorious, or too skilled at escaping other prisons. From 1934 to 1963, no one had ever successfully escaped the Rock and lived to tell the tale. The freezing water and treacherous currents were considered a more effective barrier than any wall. But in 1960, 3 men arrived who would challenge that belief, and one of them was a genius, Frank Morris. Widely regarded as highly intelligent, with FBI records noting his exceptional planning skills. He was joined by brothers John and Clarence Anglin, seasoned bank robbers with multiple prior convictions and escape attempts. Together, with a 4th man, Alan West, they began to devise a plan that was as brilliant as it was audacious. For 6 months, the men worked in secret, their project hidden in plain sight. Their primary tool? A handful of spoons stolen from the prison cafeteria. Night after night, during the prison's designated music hour, they painstakingly chipped away at the crumbling concrete. To hide their work, they crafted fake wall sections out of painted cardboard, and to fool the guards during their nightly counts, they created the dummy heads. Their escape vehicle would be a makeshift raft, ingeniously constructed from over 50 stolen prison-issued raincoats. They sealed the seams using heat from the prison's steam pipes. On the night of June 11, 1962, a storm was brewing over the bay. It was time. After the final count, they placed the dummy heads in their bunks, a final act of deception. One by one, they slipped through the widened ventilation ducts into the unguarded utility corridor. But there was a problem. Alan West, the 4th conspirator, couldn't remove his grate in time. His hole was too small. He was left behind. Morris and the Anglin brothers climbed to the roof, carrying their makeshift raft and a concertina they had converted into a bellows. They shimmied down a large kitchen ventilation pipe to the ground and made their way to the shore. At the water's edge, in the shadow of a guard tower, they inflated their raft. Sometime after 10 p.m., they pushed their fragile craft into the treacherous, freezing water and vanished into the night. The next morning, their escape was discovered, triggering one of the largest manhunts in FBI history. The search turned up tantalizing clues, but no bodies. A wallet wrapped in plastic containing names and addresses of the men's relatives was found. And later, shreds of the raincoat raft washed ashore on Angel Island. The official FBI conclusion was simple: the men drowned. But the story didn't end there. For decades, rumors and strange pieces of evidence have surfaced, suggesting the men survived. The Anglin family claimed to have received postcards and messages from the brothers for years. Then, in the 1990s, a photograph emerged, allegedly taken by a family friend in Brazil in 1975, showing 2 men resembling John and Clarence Anglin. And in 2013, a letter, claiming to be from John Anglin, was sent to the San Francisco police. The letter claimed Frank Morris died in 2008 and Clarence in 2011. The author offered to turn himself in exchange for medical treatment for his cancer. Modern science has also weighed in. In 2014, a Dutch study, using advanced computer models of the bay's currents, concluded that if the men left between 11 p.m. and midnight under those specific tidal conditions, the currents could have carried them towards Horseshoe Bay, where debris was found. The FBI officially closed its case in 1979, but the U.S. Marshals keep the warrants active to this day. If the men survived, they would be in their 90s now. Did 3 men pull off the impossible, outsmarting the most secure prison of its time? Or did the rock claim its final victims? 60 years later, the escape from Alcatraz remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. Tell us what you believe in the comments below.